My dad, Sam Udy, gave me the name Rooster because I'm a fighting chicken. My dad used to say that I wasn't going to amount to anything, that there was no such thing as friends because they would all stab me in the back. But in my heart, I knew that he was wrong. I always sensed a duality of spirits in him, and that the pain of his experiences had shattered his innocence. He never told me this, but I felt like someone close to him betrayed him. Whether it was himself or someone else, only God knows. But I recognized the pattern of distrust and sadness. At the same time, his heart wasn't evil, as I watched him rescue so many through his preaching, the Word of God, and through his preference of charity towards men more than churches, in the way that he lived his life. He used the N-word, but only because he grew up around people saying it, and he always condemned racism to us, no matter what his mouth said. His heart spoke the truth through his actions, always helping those in need, no matter their skin color. In fact, he catered to the poorest of society, mostly black people, forging strong bonds with Mr. Willie, a man that I loved dearly, who everyone loved dearly. And I watched my dad let everyone get months and months behind on the rent without kicking them out whenever I said that he should or my mom said that he should. He never held a grudge against any of them when they didn't pay, and when they moved out either. Ronald Brewer was the only man that he actually held a grudge against. And that was only because he raised Ronald Brewer up from the dust, giving him a place to live, buying him everything to start a flooring business, and even putting properties in his name to hide and move them around to avoid overburdening the wicked taxation of St. Tammany Parish, which is to this day corrupt as hell. But even Ronald was a product of his own environment, having been brutally abused by his own family. He had the Rooster spirit too, but succumbed to fear, pride, and rebellion. My dad told me that one day he was at home talking with someone about Ronald, and Ronald was sneaking around and heard him call him an idiot. But I think the person that he was talking with was a tattler that started all of this. My dad told me that Ronald poisoned his coffee with drugs to set him up, saying he was a drug dealer and that he attacked him. Both of these are lies from the pit of hell. At the time, my dad actually had given a homeless man a place to stay, and while he was there, the man had prescription medicine in his medicine cabinet. And Ronald made up a big ass story, and then the police came over and took my dad to jail. And while he was in jail, Ronald tried to steal everything. He tried to steal everything that he could, instead of just talking with my dad. He tried to overthrow him just like Satan did God. He's a coward just like Satan is. He wouldn't just admit that he was wrong and say, hey, look, I'm sorry, And the fact is, Ronald was an idiot. My dad wasn't wrong about that. Not to knock him and say that, look, people are given different gifts, right? And we should just know our place and be content in it. But my dad did have a problem with trying to make fun of people. That was a problem. So anyway, just before that happened, my dad actually betrayed me too. He took the side of a Jezebel, who I knew was trying to steal everything. And she disrespected me in front of my dad, and my dad took her side on it. And it hurt me so bad that I went to my room crying and packed all my stuff and I left. And after 7 years, I came back to my dad. I called and tried to reconcile with him, and he asked me to come back to him. He told me what had happened and told me that I could help him get everything back by opening a succession on my mom, since I never actually opened one, and technically I was his stepson. He got us whenever I was 8 years old. So I did everything that he asked, and eventually, after spending years and years fighting in court, going to different lawyers, getting people to help me to do everything, I finally got it all back, and I transferred it into his name. Everything. Didn't have to. Could have ran away with it all. But I transferred it into his name without getting a single dime for it. Yes, he did help me get my car loan for my Camry, and he did help me anytime that I needed it, financially or otherwise. But ultimately, God knows the totality of all of this. What is the truth anyway? And what is a lie but a distortion of the truth? Everything has context, and you need to know the whole story before you actually cast judgment on someone. That's why it's so dangerous. You don't know the whole story. Only God knows. And sometimes telling the truth can bring evil on both the giver and the receiver. So we tell a little white lie about her butt looking good in those jeans not to hurt her or offend her. But for one person, the little white lie might reinforce that, make her do better for everyone. But for another, she might become drunk with pride, and instead of examining the truth, she gets scared and rebels against it, swallowing that lie instead of spitting it out. It becomes a poison pill that corrupts her heart from the inside. It creates a tiny little hole that's not fillable by anything. And as long as it remains, she'll never be able to fill it up. And that little plant will end up growing up, making her fat and bloated with lies, so that no matter where she goes or what she says or does, people will see the truth spilling out everywhere. But it wasn't the little lie that did it. Ultimately, it was the seed. That little poison ivy grows up into a big old tree-like vine that strangles the shit out of all the other trees around it and everything. And it makes a whole bunch of leaves and branches everywhere. And it blocks out the good light, and it starves the other plants of light, all for itself. But even poison ivy looks beautiful to the eye, doesn't it? In the winter, it's bright red, all these beautiful colors. It gets big and strong. Her vine is thicker than your wrist. But just like the original name of the Transformers, there's more than meets the eye.
Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I came to roll out, I came to roll out. Get out your seat and jump around. Jump, jump, jump. My name is Optimus Prime, and always remember to fucking roll out.